Hey everyone, it's Vanessa Cooper here, Pinterest marketing expert and content creator, creating a video for you guys to teach you 10 Pinterest mistakes to avoid in 2022. So if anybody's been trying to market on Pinterest, the past 2 years have been wild on there. Pinterest has done a lot of algorithm changes, they've done a lot of updates, and I'm sure that a lot of people have been left a little bit confused as to how to market their business on Pinterest. Well, I can't teach you a full marketing strategy. I can share with you 10 things that you should not be doing on Pinterest and 10 mistakes to avoid for 2022. So, the first thing that you need to avoid is not using idea pins correctly. So, idea pins on Pinterest, formerly known as story pins, are those pins that have like several pages. So they kind of mimic Instagram Reels, okay? In the sense that you can kind of flip through them. They're a few seconds long. They're actually the same size as Instagram Reels. And it's almost like a mixture of Instagram Reels and Instagram Stories, where when you go into your Pinterest profile, people's idea pins kind of show up at the top with like a little ring around their photo. So when you click on it, it shows up. So when story pins first came out, a lot of people had no idea what their purpose was, because the wonderful thing about Pinterest is that anytime you pin on Pinterest, you can link that pin, whether it's a video or static pin, you can link it to an external website, which is why Pinterest is so great. Social media platforms usually don't want you to leave their platform, but Pinterest encourages it. So when idea pins came out, they were called story pins, people didn't really understand them because you can't link your idea pins to an external website. So what's their purpose? Well, you need to understand that their purpose is to increase your following inside of the Pinterest platform. It is for you to be able to engage with your audience and to share valuable content inside the Pinterest platform. So while you can't necessarily link your idea pin to an outside external link like your website, you can still use them to share with Pinterest why people should follow you, why they should check out your pins, why they should go check out your website. So it's a great way to really connect with your audience inside the Pinterest platform. So you do, even though you can't link them to an external website, you do need to be incorporating idea pins in your Pinterest marketing strategy. Use them to teach, to educate, to share things that you're passionate about, things related to your business that will attract your target audience to you. And also now there's actually some new features to idea pins, such as tagging product pins. So if you have products on Pinterest and your profile has a shop tab with products, you can actually now tag those products inside of idea pins. So that's a great way to get people to check out your products, as well as affiliate products. So if you're affiliated with products and you've created affiliate links to these products and affiliate pins, you can also tag those in your idea pin. So there's many other ways to monetize them, but definitely make sure that you're incorporating idea pins and not ignoring them. That's a huge Pinterest mistake, not using them correctly. Number 2, being inconsistent. Now, you hear everybody say this in any kind of marketing course, that inconsistency is bad. And so consistency is very important in your marketing strategy. And I just can't emphasize that enough. Continuing your pinning, continuing your strategy, and just staying consistent on Pinterest is going to help you just increase in impressions and in traffic to your website. So stay consistent, okay? Spamming Pinterest. This is a big no-no. So while you need to be consistent on Pinterest, you don't want to be too consistent. And what I mean by that is you don't want to over pin and pin so much per day that you're just flooding Pinterest with your pins, because it can come off as spammy. And so years ago, Pinterest really made a huge change to their spam filter and got a little bit more strict when it came to that, because it used to be that you could just pin like crazy on Pinterest, get a ton of traffic overnight, and just like not worry about anything. But people started abusing this. So now you have to be a little bit more careful and more strategic with your pinning. So while you do need to be consistent, make sure you are not over pinning and repinning, and that you're spacing it all out. Number 4, you don't want to pin the same image over and over again. So you want to make sure that your images look different. So having different templates, I personally use Canva, because it's amazing. Using different templates that look different, adjusting your images, zooming in on one, even if it's the same image, but one is got different angles of it, or one's zoomed in and one's zoomed out. Changing up the image to where the pins are not looking identical, because again, if Pinterest starts to see the same image over and over again in your account, it looks spammy, and that spam filter they have now is a little more sensitive. So you got to be careful that you're not using the same image over and over again. Change it up, change your templates up, and like I said, try using different images. Canva also has a lot of amazing stock images that are free to use, so no excuse to be using the same image over and over again. Number 5, misleading pins. So what I mean by that is if you pin a pin that says 3 tips on how to grow on Pinterest, and someone clicks that pin and it sends them to a guide on Facebook ads, advertising Facebook ads or whatever, that's very misleading. If you're promising that you're going to give tips on something, it has to go to that content. So a lot of people back in the day were abusing this, and like recipes and stuff were real popular on Pinterest. So people would post a picture of some kind of food promising a recipe, but then when you click to it, it would send them to a completely different site, and they were just trying to get traffic to that site or trying to sell a product, and it had nothing to do with the picture. So make sure that whatever you're pinning on Pinterest, whatever you're promising your audience, is linked and goes to content that matches what you told them. Otherwise, these misleading pins can get you in trouble with Pinterest. They don't want you misguiding people. They want you to give your audience exactly what you promised to give them. Number 6, stale content. So stale content is you pinning to the same thing over and over and over again. While you can create multiple images to the same URL and the same link on Pinterest, and it's great to do that, you have to change it up. You're gonna want to have fresh content all the time on Pinterest. That's actually something that they have made it very clear the past couple years they really want is fresh URLs, fresh landing pages, fresh products. They don't want your audience to just be getting, again, spammed with the same information over and over and over again. So make sure you have fresh blog posts, fresh podcast episodes, fresh products, fresh video logs, whatever the content is that you're creating, create brand new content, good content, and have fresh links to pin on Pinterest so that your content does not get stale. Okay. Number 7, using absolutely no SEO is a big no-no, okay, with your Pinterest marketing. You want to incorporate keywords into your marketing strategy. So Pinterest is a visual search engine. You can't just go in there and do whatever. You really want to make sure that you're intentional about your marketing and that you're incorporating keywords that you think your target audience is looking for in order for them to really find your pins on there and find your website. So I actually have a whole blog post that I wrote that you can find on my website on how to do Pinterest keyword research. I teach you several ways of doing this, and that way you can throw it into your profile, your title, your descriptions, and really have people finding you on Pinterest. So that's a big no-no. Definitely use SEO, Pinterest SEO with your marketing strategy for your Pinterest. Number 8. No branding. That is another Pinterest mistake to avoid in 2022. Using no branding. And so, I know that people feel different about this when it comes to like Instagram, like whether it should all have the same aesthetics, the same color scheme, this and that. And not everyone can agree when it comes to social media, whether you should have that or not. I know I've heard different opinions about it. But when it comes to Pinterest, I'm telling you that it is very important that your pins are branded. And it's a visual search engine. So you really want to make sure that your pins become recognizable over time. And the way you do this is by having them branded, okay? And the reason that you want them to be recognizable, I'm not going to get into the whole psychology of it, but people actually find comfort in things that are familiar to them, so that when people search for something on Pinterest and a whole bunch of pins pop up, once they start recognizing your pin, they will actually become attracted and be leaned towards wanting to click on your pin versus if they're not branded and they look just like everybody else's. So make sure that you are using branding, and so it's just a really easy Pinterest mistake to avoid. And Canva, again, is another great place to go to get branding. You can actually create your own branding kit in there. They give you different options that you can use, different colors, and it's just really, really simple to do this and to stick to certain branding so that your pins really pop out at people. Number 9, having no patience. So you cannot go into Pinterest and expect immediate results. Like I've said, it is a search engine. And with any search engine, it takes time to really start getting results. So you're going to have to wait at least 6 months to a year, okay, before you really start getting traction on Pinterest, before you really start getting traffic to your website. It takes time. Pinterest has an algorithm where they have to figure out where your content fits, who your target audience is, where your content belongs, like how it's helping people, what people are interested in. I mean, there's so much that goes into their algorithm, your keywords that you're putting and placing in there. It takes time for Pinterest really to start indexing your content correctly, to start showing it to people correctly. So you need to be consistent, you need to stick to it, and you need to be patient. Not having patience is not going to help. If you lose patience and quit, you're just like, you can't do that. You have to stick to it, and you have to be patient, and you have to wait. The traffic will come. So definitely avoid the mistake of not being patient. And number 10 is winging it. So while you might be able to go on Facebook or other social media platforms and just kind of wing it and post and hope that it sticks and that you're starting getting traffic, I mean, I don't recommend it, but who knows? Maybe some people have been winging it and getting results. You can't really do that on Pinterest. Pinterest, like I said, it's a search engine. It's different. It's like if you want to rank your website on Google, it takes a lot of SEO and a lot of content and a lot of work to get it to rank. And it's the same thing on Pinterest. It's going to take a specific marketing strategy, keywords, different boards, like it takes more knowledge than just winging it. I don't recommend doing that. If you decide that you want to do your own Pinterest marketing, I suggest that you learn how to do it properly and not just wing it, or hire an expert like me. Whatever works for you in your time. I do offer one-on-one Pinterest marketing coaching where I can teach you how to grow your own Pinterest account and start getting traffic on your own. I also do recommend a Pinterest training platform. It's on my website under the Pin Like a Boss section. And it's a monthly membership training platform where you learn how to grow your business on Pinterest, and it keeps you up to date with any algorithm changes, things that should be changed in your strategy, and things like that. So definitely learn. Don't just wing it. That is like the last and like just the biggest mistake that you can try to make on Pinterest, is just like thinking you can just go on there and do the same thing you do on social media platforms. It's not going to work on Pinterest. So make sure you learn exactly how to grow your Pinterest, your business on Pinterest in order to really get it to grow in 2022. So those are my 10 Pinterest mistakes to avoid in 2022. I hope you got some knowledge on it. If you're brand new to Pinterest, check out my website. I have freebies for you, including a free proper pin guide that teaches you how to create a Pinterest pin if you're completely clueless, and a bunch of resources on Pinterest SEO and just some other good free knowledge for you to help you get started. I also offer free Pinterest audits if you want me to check out your Pinterest account and give you some advice on how you can improve it. So that is it for today. I hope you found this valuable, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.